Hey, what's up guys? I've got another cool video for you that I think will really bless you as we're learning all of this training together. I was thinking about it this morning in my quiet time with Jesus, and this thought came up to me. It reminded me of my past and where I've come from. And whenever I was 17, I got born again. I accepted Jesus as my Savior at church camp. If you have not signed up for church camp, definitely go do it. I'm a huge fan for it. But anyway, the moment that I got saved and leading up to even years to follow, I had this question that was on the inside of my mind that I was constantly asking myself, but also I was asked by all kinds of people around me. And that was, what are you going to do for God? What's your calling for God? What are you called to do? What's your purpose? What's he telling you that you need to do for the rest of your life for Him? Although that might be a genuine and pure question, that all that does for me, or all that it did for me at the time, is it made me nervous. It made me uncertain and even question if I was hearing from God. I had this belief that if I was not able to hear from a thunderous sound of heaven that said, go and do this, I was not hearing correctly from God of what my calling was. I went across the world and got to minister to a bunch of people, and even went to Bible school, and that question just kept rising more and more, it seemed like. But then I had this understanding. I was in John chapter 6, and I was looking at the ministry of Jesus. And at this time, Jesus had already healed sick people. He had made a lame person get up and walk. He fed 5,000 men plus women and children. He walked on water. And at this time in chapter 6, these people have been following Jesus, and they're not interested in who He is, but they're interested in what He can do. And as Jesus is speaking with them, they ask Him, "Teacher, what must we do for God?" Do you see where we're going? They even were asking long ago, what is my purpose for God? What am I supposed to do? That's something we get so wrapped up in as believers, I believe. But here's Jesus' response in verse 29. He says, "This is the work of God. Believe in Him whom He has sent." What He's getting at there is He says the greatest work that we could ever do is believing in Jesus, the one whom God sent to earth. Jesus left all luxury of heaven and He came down to earth. He left streets of gold, a sea made of glass, pearly gates, a throne that was His, only to come here and have nowhere to lay His head. To be a poor person and to walk the streets and minister to us, people like us that needed it, that were broken down, that were sinful, that had issues, but Jesus came to show us that He loved us and believed in us. But what's so cool about that is God says through His Son, more than any work we could ever do for somebody, the greatest work, the greatest calling, you who's watching this video, the greatest calling that you have is to believe in Jesus. So guess what? You've already made it. You're already doing what you're called to do. So in the middle of your serving, in all that you do here at the church, or loving on kids, or anybody in Next Gen, above all else, make sure that you're doing it because you believe in Jesus and you love Him because He loves you more than you could ever imagine. Everything else comes with it. Your desire to serve, the humility of saying, I'm just doing it for Jesus. When you do it with the right heart of, my work on this earth is to believe in the one whom God has sent and to point those that I get to lead straight to that same man. Because that is who Jesus is. That is what we get to do, and it makes it such an easy work. So if you're like me and you struggled with this thought, or if you're struggling with it right now, please be encouraged. Take that load off of your shoulders. Jesus says that His yoke is easy, His burden is light. He will not make you feel weighed down or heavy laden. It actually says that we get to find rest in Him because He carries the load. He does all the work. He does all the ministry. We just show up faithfully and say, Lord, have your way. I hope this helps you out. If you have any other questions that lead up to this, please reach out to me or one of to your director or pastor whoever sees you in coaching or leading. But also, I'm always here if you just have any more questions about it. I love you. Have a great week.